Hello, and thank you for being part of this presentation. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Myron. I'm the mayor for the town of Niverville, and I am the recently elected chair of the Capital Planning Region Board. Tonight, you're going to be hearing a presentation based on a plan that is being proposed by this board to be taken to the minister, which will be our Capital Planning Region plan. So why are we doing this? We're doing this so to be able to get this plan in the hands of the provincial minister by the 1st of January, as per the legislation set out by the provincial government. What this plan will enable us to do will be to solicit funding from the federal government so as to be able to make our region not just a region where we want to live, but one where we want to thrive. So this is about us as a board wanting to do our part to enabling our residents to have the communities they want to live in, to have the places that they wish to go. So in the past, there was a plan that had been introduced, and some may still have that as the framework for what your thought processes are, and that's understood. However, there's been significant changes from what was to what you'll be hearing today. Some of the highlights, for instance, is Bill 33 had some changes. Some of the changes that were made were the voting. So right now, the voting is that in regards to the City of Winnipeg, some were concerned about the veto power. The City of Winnipeg must be included in the budget that's done annually and in the final approval of this plan to the minister. All other votes will just be a simple majority of the board. Also removed is any comments regarding to specific numbers on density as it comes to individual communities. We wanted this to be flexible and to be open in order to live in the world that is changing all around us, quickly, that we will be able to adapt to make sure that we're not constrained or restricted. Also changed in this is we're trying to get wording that says we're giving priority to, or where things are reasonable, as opposed to things that says we will or we won't. So again, to create greater flexibility. In this plan that you'll see a presentation, there'll be a series of questions, surveys and such. I want to invite you to please respond to those questions when they are asked. We are looking for constructive information from all of you as to maybe some things we've missed, some things need to be added, maybe there's some things that need to be removed, maybe there's wording that needs to be changed. And so we welcome all of that feedback. We believe that this plan is good, but that it can be better. And by working together with you, we know that we can have a region where we all want to live and feel the freedoms that we wish to live by. So again, thank you for coming to this presentation. We welcome you to it, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's open house on a draft regional plan. We're pleased to be sharing the result of extensive work over the past year to develop a clear, focused new plan for the region. I'm the Executive Director of the Winnipeg Metro Region, and today I'm going to provide some background information on the WMR and the regional plan process. So let's start by spending a few minutes talking about who the Capital Planning Region is. So the Capital Planning Region was created by the province of Manitoba through the Planning Act. This means it is formally established in law to support planning across the region. We operate as the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region, so you may hear both names used interchangeably. The region brings together member municipalities to work on shared priorities such as growth, infrastructure, and long-term planning. Regulations also guide how the region operates. These outline how decisions are made, as well as the rules and processes the region follows. Overall, the region's role is to support coordinated planning across communities, while each member municipality maintains its own local decision-making authority. Our mandate is set in provincial legislation. In simple terms, our role is to support economic, social development by improving how land use and infrastructure are planned and coordinated across the region. Some of the key ways we do that are by adopting a regional plan, by supporting planning for infrastructure and services, and by working with municipalities on shared planning issues. Overall, the region's role is to support coordinated planning across municipal boundaries, while each municipality continues to make its own local decisions. So the region is made up of member municipalities from across the capital region, including the City of Winnipeg and surrounding rural municipalities. These municipalities are represented on the board, which helps guide the region's work and decision-making. The board also includes provincial appointees, including representation from Treaty 1 and Manitoba Métis Federation. This structure helps ensure that different perspectives are included while municipalities continue to represent their own communities. So that gives an overview of who is part of the region and how it is structured. The next question is, what is it that this group is working towards together? The main tool we use to guide that work is the regional plan. So at a high level, a regional plan is a long-term planning document that helps municipalities work together on issues that cross boundaries. These are things like growth, infrastructure, and land use, areas where decisions in one municipality can affect others. Regional plans are a common planning tool used in many parts of Canada, especially in the regions experiencing growth. Regional plans help provide a shared direction so municipalities can plan in a way that is more coordinated over time. It doesn't replace local plans or decision making, but it helps align them where there is shared interest. A regional plan provides a shared roadmap for land use, infrastructure, and servicing, so municipalities can plan in a more coordinated way, but still make important decisions locally. And it helps connect municipal and provincial priorities, so planning efforts are more aligned across governments, and governments can improve efficiency. Each municipality has its own local plans and bylaws that guide development in their community. Those local plans are important because they reflect local needs, priorities, and decisions made by each community. The regional plan doesn't replace those local plans. It helps ensure that where there are shared issues, planning is more aligned and coordinated across municipal boundaries. In simple terms, it helps connect local planning efforts so municipalities can work toward common goals where it makes sense. Developing a regional plan is a structured process that brings together a few key components. It includes technical work, where we look at data, growth patterns, infrastructure needs, and other factors that help inform planning decisions. It also includes a legislative process, which ensures the plan meets provincial requirements and follows the steps set out in legislation. And just as importantly, it includes engagement, working with municipalities, partners, and the public to gather input and perspectives. These components are connected and happen throughout the process, helping shape the plan over time. Engagement is an important part of this process, and it happens throughout, not just at one point in time. So I'll walk through how we approach gathering input in our first phase of engagement. Phase 1 of engagement took place between July 2025 and February 2026. This phase focused on gathering input to help inform the early stages of the regional plan. It included working with a range of participants, including the province, municipal councils, administrations, and planners, as well as community and industry stakeholders. Members of the public were asked to provide input through a survey that was shared online in late 2025. The goal of this phase was to bring together different perspectives to help identify key challenges, priorities, and opportunities across the region. So I'll now shift into a high-level overview of the regional plan, focusing on overall direction and key areas of focus. So the regional plan is organized around a set of key priority areas for the region. These areas reflect themes identified through board direction and informed by what we heard through engagement. They are designed to be flexible so they can support regional coordination while still allowing municipalities to make decisions that reflect their local needs. Each area points to a key part of the region, including economic growth, how people and goods move across the region, water and watershed health, and healthy, resilient communities. Together, they provide a clear and practical structure, helping focus on the areas that matter most across the region. Across all of these tools, across all of these areas, there is a consistent focus on coordination, practical tools, and approaches that can support different types of communities across the region. These areas work together to support growth while maintaining flexibility for municipalities. I'll now provide a high-level overview of each priority, recognizing that there's more detail behind each. So the first conversation we'll have is on a growing and an innovative economy. This was a consistent priority that came through in engagement and is an important part of the overall direction of the plan. It focuses on key areas that support economic activity across the region, including land, infrastructure, and partnerships. Before getting into more detail, I'll start by grounding this in what we heard through engagement. A key message was that infrastructure and servicing are foundational to growth. We also heard about the importance of coordination across municipalities, particularly where shared infrastructure and services are involved. And there were consistent comments about the need for more serviced employment land to support economic opportunities across the region. We also heard about the importance of protecting key regional assets. There was strong support for balancing growth with the long-term value of agricultural land and other resources. We also heard about the importance of partnerships, including collaboration between municipalities, Indigenous nations, and other partners. These perspectives help shape the overall direction of this theme. And now I'll walk how through this theme is reflected at a high level. So this slide highlights a few key areas within this theme. The first focuses on ensuring there is a supply of service land available to support jobs and business development across the region. The second looks at protecting agricultural and resource lands while still supporting growth over time. And the third focuses on working with Indigenous nations to support coordination and shared economic opportunities. These areas reflect what we heard through engagement, particularly around infrastructure, land use, and partnerships. All of these are intended to support economic activity across the region while allowing flexibility for municipalities. The next area I'll touch on is transportation. This was also a consistent theme in engagement, particularly around how people and goods move across the region. It focuses on key areas such as safety, reliability, and how different parts of the network connect across municipal boundaries. As with the previous area, I'll start by grounding this in what we heard through engagement. A consistent concern was the condition of infrastructure, particularly of roads, and how that affects safety and movement across the region. We also heard about the importance of stronger connections between communities, especially for accessing jobs, services, and amenities. And there was clear interest in having more transportation options, including transit, as the region continues to grow. Together, these points highlight the importance of a more connected and coordinated transportation system. We also heard about the role transportation plays in supporting economic activity. Business and industry highlighted the importance of reliable movement of goods and access to labor across the region. There was also feedback about differences in approaches across municipalities and the opportunity to improve coordination where it adds value. These perspectives help shape the focus on connectivity, coordination, and supporting both people and goods movement. So this slide highlights two key areas within transportation. The first focuses on improving options for how people move within and between communities across the region. The second focuses on movement of goods and how transportation supports economic activity across the region. Together, these areas reflect the importance of having a transportation system that supports how people get around and how goods move across the region. These are supported by coordination and planning across municipalities with flexibility to local priorities. So the next area I'll touch on is water. This was also identified as an important area through engagement, particularly in relation to drainage and watershed management across the region. It focuses on how water is managed across municipal boundaries and how that supports growth, infrastructure, and long-term resilience. As with the other areas, I'll start by grounding this in what we heard. A consistent message was that water and wastewater capacity is becoming an important consideration for growth across the region. We also heard about the need for ongoing infrastructure upgrades, particularly in areas with aging or undersized systems. And there was a strong emphasis on the importance of coordination since water and drainage systems cross municipal boundaries. Together, these points highlight the need for a more coordinated approach to managing water across the region. We also heard about the importance of maintaining watershed health over the long term. Protecting natural systems, such as wetlands and rivers, plays an important role in supporting water quality and resilience. There was also recognition of increasing pressures from weather-related impacts, such as drought and flooding. These factors highlight the importance of taking a connected, watershed-based approach to water management across the region. So this slide highlights four key priorities within our water theme. These areas reflect many of the priorities we heard through engagement, particularly around infrastructure, risk, and long-term planning. The first focuses on planning for water and wastewater systems to support current needs and future growth. The second looks at how drainage is coordinated across the region, particularly in managing flood risk and downstream impacts. The third focuses on long-term water supply, including reliability for communities and future generations. And the fourth highlights the importance of protecting watersheds and natural systems that support water quality. Together, these areas reflect the need for a coordinated and long-term approach to water management across the region. And this brings us to our fourth and final area, which is communities. This was also identified as an important part of the overall direction through engagement. It focuses on how growth is experienced in communities, including housing, services, and overall livability. As with the other areas, I'll start by grounding this in what we heard through engagement. A consistent theme was the need for more housing choice across the region. We also heard about increasing concerns related to housing costs and supply, with pressures being felt in both urban and rural communities. At the same time, population growth is increasing demand for housing infrastructure, and services across the region. While these pressures vary between communities, they are being felt across the region. We also heard about access to services and amenities across the region. Access can vary between communities, and improving it is an important part of supporting livable communities. We also heard about increasing pressures related to extreme weather and emergency events. These are creating new considerations for how communities plan and adapt over time. Together, these themes highlight the importance of supporting communities that are both livable today and resilient over the long term. So, this slide highlights three key areas within the community's theme. The first focuses on housing, including supporting a range of options to respond to different needs across the region. The second looks at access to services and amenities and a range of how coordination can help improve access across communities. And the third focuses on resilience, including how communities prepare for and respond to risk and changing conditions. Together, these areas reflect the importance of supporting communities that are livable, connected, and resilient while allowing flexibility for local priorities. And I'll finish by walking through the next steps in our process. This provides an overview of how the plan continues to move forward over the coming months. So this slide provides a high-level view of how the process continues. We are currently in the second phase of engagement, which includes opportunities like this public open house. The open house is an opportunity to learn more about the plan, provide feedback on regional priorities, and ask questions about the process. Following this phase, the plan continues to be refined based on input and direction from the WMR board. There are also formal steps required through legislation, including a public hearing later in the process. The public hearing is a separate step where members of the public can formally present their views to the WMR board before any decisions are made. So while we are in an important engagement phase now, there will continue to be opportunities for input as the process moves forward. Overall, each stage builds on the one before it, helping ensure the plan reflects feedback and direction along the way. This is an ongoing process, and your input helps shape the plan as it continues to evolve. So with that, this concludes our presentation. Again, thank you for joining us, and please be sure to check our website for the most up-to-date information on the ongoing regional plan process. Thank you.